And yes, we're back. It's another edition of Inspirations with Carmina. Now, don't forget to like and share. Yep, like and share. My special guest today, Mr. Greg Harris. He's back with brand new music and, of course, going to get us a little inspiration. So we got to get into it, y'all. It's Inspirations with Carmina. It's another edition of Inspirations with Carmina. I've got a special guest today, Mr. Greg Harris. How are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy to have you joining me. And of course, we got to talk about your new music. But let's do this. For those that this may be their first introduction to Greg Harris, how about you introduce yourself? Tell them a little bit about you.
Well, I started writing songs in high school. I had a, a friend who wrote a silly gospel way. I went to the studio and I played the music, and she liked it, and they performed that song "I Go with Jesus All the Way." This is when they was on Nashville Records out of
Okay.
Nashville, Tennessee, and it was the title tune for the last record they did with Nashville before they went to Malaco. After that, I started. I went to the Gospel Music Workshop in 1988. That was my first time in St. Louis, Missouri, and then the next year in 1989, I wrote a song. And my song Someday was accepted in the New Music Seminar. So 89, 90, 91, 92, I had songs accepted in the New Music Seminar. And then 2001, my song You Better Tell Somebody made the mass choir. And after that, I formed the Little Rock Community Choir. I did that in the 80s, and we recorded several CDs, and we traveled. We performed with Albertina Walker, her church. She invited us there, Clay Evans Church, just different places. And one memorable experience was in when we performed for the federal government on a ship in New York. That was a great experience. I had never sung in front of sailors and airmen and people crying. It was that type of an experience. So that's a little bit about me. I used to teach school in Little Rock, Arkansas. I was a teacher for 10 years, and
Okay.
then I started working on the union side. So that's enough about me, I guess.
Okay. So you are a songwriter deep down on the inside. That's your thing, huh?
Yeah, it just comes easy to write songs. I can write songs. The two CDs that we did, the first one was songs from the heart, one all the songs, and I wrote all of that one. And on this CD, that's just was recently released on that, and I co-wrote, with my producer, Adam Rogers.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about songwriting for a moment because I think that is such an amazing thing. Not everybody has that ability to be able to write a song. For you, is it maybe some of the things you're hearing or some of the things you're experiencing in life? What inspires you to write songs?
Well, I watched the movie about the Clark sisters, and they have been my fans of mine for a long time. They used to come to Little Rock. I used to see Twinkie and her mother when they would come and do workshops. I was on the radio at the in Little Rock at that particular time, and I was able to go and sit in the rehearsals. The preachers, they knew me, so they allowed me to come and sit in. I wasn't a part of the choir, but I would sit in, and it was just awesome. But writing songs, Twinkie, said she carried her Bible around and she started writing songs. For me, I have little thoughts that would come, and I would sit at the piano and I would start, playing. Sometimes I'm out, I might be at a service, or I'm a preacher too. So sometimes I might hear somebody say something and I'll write it down and I start working on it. It'll just come to me, a melody will come to me and I'll just start working on it. And most of the time when I write a song, the melody always supposed to go. It comes to me, and it just my gift that I have. I think it stems from when I was in the fifth grade. I used to plays, and elementary school. And I remember in high school in the 10th grade, I ran for a state office in Deca, and I gave a speech. And when I finished my speech, the Coliseum, everybody was standing on their feet. The teachers were crying, and it was just like, wow, I never had an experience like that. So I think being creative has always been a part of my life. So it's easy. It just comes easy. I can write speeches, and I can just write poems, and it's easy for me. It's part of my God given gift, my creativity that I have.
Now, see, you don't know how many people are jealous of you right now because people wish they could just pick up and write a song. It's not an easy thing for everybody. So you're truly blessed in that area, that's for sure. So I want to talk about the new single that's impacting radio. That's the God I Know.
That's the God I know.
Now, kind of talk about that song. How did God give you that one? Is that another situation where you were just handling your business, or maybe even preparing a word, and God just dropped it on you?
Yeah, I was just sitting at the piano. Sometimes a thought would come to me, and I was sitting at the piano, and a friend of mine told me, "Oh, I like that song. I like that song," and I just had it, stored away. It had been a while when I wrote the song, and then when I met Adam Rogers, my producer at the Gospel Music Workshop, and he started, talking about, producing because it had been a while since I had did a full project. We just, worked together on it. Most of the song I wrote, but he had a little hook on the end when they say, "That's the God I know." That's Adam. Adam came up with that little hook, but the rest of the songs, the words of what came to me. So it was like at night, I got up, this thought came to me, and I'm sitting at the piano, and I just started, writing it down, and I just started, playing it on my piano. So that's how it came about, and the words just come to me because I have a Bible base because I grew up in church, so I know the word. So it just comes to me, and if I take a song, I try to relate the word to it to inspire people. So in that song, it says, "He heals, He delivers, He sets the captives free." And at 15, I had an experience where my vocal cords were scraped. At 15, I lost my voice completely, and I used to sing in the church choir back home in Little Rock. And when I would sing, I would get hoarse, and I had my vocal cords scraped at 15, and I lost my voice completely. So when I say He heals, He delivers, He sets the captives free, this is something that I really believe. And recently, in February, before we got involved with the pandemic, the COVID-19, and the also known as the coronavirus, I was in Jacksonville, Florida, the middle part of February, and I participated in the Global Live Showcase. And the panel of judges that was there selected me as the upcoming independent gospel artist. And they said, when they heard me sing "That's the God I Know," they said, if I didn't know God, if I was, worshiping something else, I would want to know the God that you know. So I was selected out of all of the artists that was there. They selected me as the Jacksonville Showcase winner. So I thank God, for what He is doing with this song. So I have people calling me, singing a little hook. They just said, it's something about this song, and so I'm happy for all the support that I'm getting from this song.
Amen. And that has to mean a lot to you because when you're writing music, of course, it means something deeply personal to you. But when people gravitate to you, and like you said, even if they just pick up on the hook or pick up on one little bit, I mean, that has to bless you.
But you know what? Before the song was released, I sung the song at a church in California, and I noticed how the audience responded. And everywhere I go and sing this song, it's the same. And people will come up after service and sing. They be singing the song. So I know it's something to this song. It's something that God has blessed with this song that is touching people, and they get it. I sung the song before the CD was released on a prayer line. My brother has a prayer line in Little Rock, and I just sung it one day. And they just every time I would get on, they would want me to sing "That's the God I Know," and they would start singing it. So it's catchy, and people, what we're dealing with now. You need to know God. You need to know that He heals, He delivers, He sets the captives free. So that's the God I know.
And I think that's what makes it even more perfect because, like you said, it's so what we need right now. It's for this moment right now. So I want you to do this. I want you to let people know how they can connect with you, how they can invite you out. Because I don't know about there in California, but here in Texas, they try to open things back up. So we're going to be moving around real soon. So let people know how
You
they
know,
can connect with
my
you.
choir did a lot of my choir did a lot of performing in Texas, in Houston, Texas. We
Okay.
went to churches back to back in Houston, Texas. We sure did back, when we were doing a lot of traveling. So I would love to come to Texas because Texas is next door to Arkansas, where I'm from, Little Rock, and I used to come to Texas all the time.
Well, definitely, we would love to have you back, and I want to make sure people can reach out to you. So tell them how they can connect with you, and well, that's number one, and then number two, how they can get this single.
Okay, my email address is Greg Harris 365 at gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. Facebook is Gregory Harris 984. And Twitter is um, at Greg Harris 365. So that's my Twitter account. I'm on Instagram, and they can get the CD. It's out there on all of the musical platforms. You can get it at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, any of them. All you have to do is put in the Greg Harris and Reaching, and it will pop right up. So it's out there.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you for taking this time with us. I know you're trying to do your best to stay in and stay safe and all of that good stuff, but we had to talk about this good music. So I appreciate you so, so much. And y'all, we got to get into it. So it's brand new music, y'all. This is Greg Harris right here on Inspirations with Carmina. It's the brand new single. That's the God I Know.